All right, who else has spent hours staring at a blank screen trying to craft the perfect email, the perfect presentation, or the perfect social media post? If your hand is raised, baby, you're not alone. We've all been there, chasing that elusive deal of perfection only to end up feeling frustrated, exhausted, and like we're constantly falling short. But what if I told you that perfection is a myth? It's really a dangerous illusion that's keeping you from achieving your true potential. Yeah, that's right. Today, we're going to dive deep into the dark side of perfectionism and how it can sabotage your success, your happiness, and even your health. But sorry, we're not just here to complain. So, we're also going to share some practical tips and some strategies for letting go of that perfect mindset and embracing a more balanced and, dare I say, imperfect life. So grab a cup of coffee, settle in, and get ready to ditch the pressure to be perfect. All right, let's get into it. Look, I'll be honest with you guys. I mean, I struggled with perfectionism my whole life. Back in high school, I was that kid, the nerd kid, who stressed over every single test, every assignment. I remember pulling, all-nighters to cram for exams, even if I knew the material cold. I was convinced that anything less than an A plus, or in the Indian curriculum, a 99 out of 100, was a failure. And in college, it got even worse. I'd spend hours agonizing over every word of my essays, every word of my papers, convinced that if I didn't get it just right, my entire future would be ruined. But you know what? All that striving for perfection did not make me happier or more successful. In fact, it did the exact opposite. I was constantly stressed, anxious, and never felt like I was good enough. Sound familiar? I mean, if so, it's totally fine. You're not alone. Perfectionism is a sneaky little bitch that can creep into every aspect of our lives, from our careers to our relationships to our health. And it's especially prevalent among high achieving women like yourself. But what if? What if it keeps you stuck in a cycle of striving and never arriving, leaving you feeling drained and unfulfilled? What if the relentless pursuit of perfection is actually sabotaging you? I know it sounds counterintuitive, but stick with me here. Perfectionism isn't just about striving for excellence. It's a mindset that tells you that you're never good enough, that you always need to do more, be more, achieve more. It's that voice in your head that whispers, you should be thinner, smarter, more successful. But here's the thing, it's a myth. It's an unattainable ideal that no one can ever truly reach. And the harder we chase it, the more frustrated, the more exhausted and disillusioned we become. Think about it. Have you ever felt that you're constantly running on a hamster wheel, never quite reaching the finish line? That is perfectionism at work. And it's not just about the emotional toll. Perfectionism can also have a serious impact on our physical health. Stress, anxiety, and sleep deprivation, they're all common side effects of the relentless pursuit of perfection. So, what is the alternative? It's not about giving up on your goals or settling for mediocrity. It's about embracing the power of good enough. Good enough doesn't mean being lazy or complacent. It means recognizing that you're human and that you're allowed to make mistakes and that progress is more important than perfection. I know, cliche, but that's true. So, what does embracing good enough actually look like in practice? It's not about lowering your standards or settling for mediocrity. It's about finding a sweet spot between excellence and sanity. Think of it this way, in business, you wouldn't launch a product that's half baked, right? But you also wouldn't spend years perfecting every tiny detail, missing out on valuable market opportunities. You aim for a product that's good enough to be successful, but you're also willing to iterate and improve as you go. The same principle applies to our personal lives. We need to find that balance between striving for excellence and accepting that we're not perfect. We need to learn to let go of the need for everything to be flawless and embrace the beauty of imperfection. So, how do we actually start embracing good enough? Well, it starts with a shift in mindset. It's about recognizing that done is better than perfect. progress is more important than flawlessness, and that self-compassion is not a weakness, but a strength. It's about giving yourself permission to be human, to make you have off days, and it's about celebrating your wins, no matter how small they may seem. So, what happens when we ditch the pursuit of perfection and embrace the power of good enough? Well, a whole lot of good. Actually, let's talk about business. Think about it. When we're constantly striving for perfection, we often get stuck in analysis paralysis. We overthink every decision, we second guess ourselves, and procrastinate out of fear of not being perfect. But when we embrace good enough, we give ourselves permission to take actions if we make mistakes and to learn from them. And what does this lead to? 10x in productivity, faster decision making, and ultimately the $1 million sales you've been looking for. Maybe not, but we're getting there. Yeah. And perfectionism can seep in our personal lives as well, causing us to constantly compare ourselves to others, feel like we're not measuring up, and never truly feeling satisfied. But when we let go of the need for perfection, we open ourselves to a world of possibilities. We can embrace our quirks and imperfections. Yeah, be as weird as you want, as insane as you want, build stronger relationships, and find joy in the simple things. This is where the good enough mindset really shines. And not just here, but in my most favorite F word, fitness. Instead of obsessing over every calorie or beating yourself up for missing a workout, you can focus on making consistent progress, consistent, sustainable progress. You can celebrate small ones like adding an extra serving of vegetables to your dinner or taking a brisk walk during a lunch break. They count, they all count. And you can forgive yourself for the occasional slip up, knowing that it's all part of the journey. Look, no one can go, not cheating for 1 week or 1 month or 1 year. Then that's all bullshit, and you know that. Okay, it's fine. It's fine to cheat often, and please don't beat yourself up. It's all part of the journey. So, ladies, I know you're used to aiming high. You're go-getters. You're visionaries, and you wouldn't be where you are today if you did not have sky-high expectations. But here's the thing: when those expectations become unrealistic, they do you more harm than good. I'll ask a question. Have you ever set a goal that was so ambitious, so far-fetched, that it felt literally impossible to achieve? Maybe it was launching your product in record time, hitting an unrealistic sales target, or transforming your body overnight. I mean, when we set unreachable expectations, we set ourselves up for disappointment and failure. And when we fail, it can trigger that nasty inner critic telling us that we're not good enough, not smart enough, not capable enough. It's a vicious cycle that can lead to burnout, anxiety, and even worse, depression. So, how do we break free from this trap? We start by setting realistic expectations. We need to be honest with ourselves about what's achievable. Given our resources, our time constraints, and the energy that you've got, what is it that you can achieve in the set time period? This doesn't mean lowering your standards or giving up on your dreams. It simply means being more strategic and intentional about your goals. It means breaking down those big, audacious goals into smaller, more manageable steps. And it means celebrating the small wins along the way. And remember, Rome was not built in a day, and neither is a successful business or a healthy body. It takes time, effort, and patience. But by setting realistic expectations and focusing on progress, you'll be amazed at what you can achieve. All right, ready for tip number two? This one is all about reclaiming your power and silencing that inner critic telling you to shut the fuck up, who loves to tell you that you're not doing good enough, not being enough, or simply not enough at all. We all have that voice in our heads that whispers the doubts, the criticisms. It might sound like your mother, your ex-boss, or, or even the mean girl from high school. But, here's the thing. That voice is not your friend. It's a bully and it's time to put it in its place. So the next time you catch yourself thinking, I'm not smart enough to close this deal or I never look like that fitness fucking model on Instagram, stop right there. Ask yourself, is this thought helpful? Ask yourself, is this true? And is this serving me in any way? The chances are the answer is a resounding no. But so why are we giving these negative thoughts so much power? Why are you letting them dictate your self-worth and limit your potential? It's time to fight back. When that inner critic starts spewing its venom, don't just sit there and take it. Challenge it. Question its validity. And most importantly, replace it with positive affirmations. My favorite. Tell yourself, I am capable, I am worthy, and I am enough. Repeat it like a mantra, but write it on sticky notes or even get it tattooed on your arm if you have to. Okay, maybe not the last one. The key is to drown out the negative voice with a chorus of positive affirmations. Over time, you'll start to believe those positive affirmations, and your inner critic will lose its power. The bitch will be silenced. Now, for our third tip, it's really time to rewrite the narrative that's been holding you back. It's time to take control of the pen or the keyboard and craft a story that truly reflects your worth and your ambitions. Write your own damn story. Ladies, you're not just running companies, you're leading lives. And every life has a story. But far too often, we let others dictate the narrative. We internalize their expectations, we internalize their judgments, and their shoulds. Yeah, I talked about this in a newsletter post. It's like the should monster. Check it out. If you got the time, leave the link in the description. And we internalize everything. We start to believe that their version of our story is the truth, but it's not. You're not a supporting character in someone else's story. You're the protagonist, the heroine, the CEO of your own damn life. And it's time to start writing a story that you're proud of. So, how do you do that? It starts with awareness. Take a moment to reflect on the messages you've received about who you should be and what you should achieve. Are they serving you? Are they aligned with your values and your goals? If not, it's time to let them go. And then start writing your own story. For instance, you can use these questions. What are your dreams? What are your passions? What makes you feel alive and fulfilled? Don't be afraid to get specific in detail. If you want a Lamborghini Huracan, write that you need that Lamborghini Huracan I don't know, what in space gray, in purple, with that streak, every little thing, detail everything. Write down your wildest dreams, your boldest ambitions, and things that make your heart sing. And then, most importantly, start taking action to make that story a reality. Every decision you make, every action you take is a brushstroke on the canvas of your life. So, might as well make it a masterpiece. So, there you have it, Queens. Dish the shits, embrace your imperfections, challenge your inner bitch, write your own damn story, and most importantly, invest in yourself. Remember, you're not just building a business, you're building an empire, and an empire is only as strong as its queen. So if you're hungry for no BS advice on mindset, fitness, and building a life that truly lights you up, subscribe to a newsletter. It's called the Cyrax Squad Mail, and join a community of badass women who are rewriting the rules of success. And I leave a link in the description. I post 2 times a week, and it's on substack.com, substack.com, and search for Cyrax Squad Mail. I leave the link in the description. Make sure to check it out and subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe. And PS, if you're ready to take the next step, I am currently accepting 3 more clients for one-on-one coaching. So claim your free 15-minute breakthrough call with me. I leave that link too to book your call. And let's get started. Remember, ladies, simple works just fine. I'll see you soon in the next episode. Until then, Cosmic Car signing off.